I'd like to call the meeting of the City Council Public Financing Authority to order. City Clerk, may I have the roll call, please?
Councilman Gruhl,
Here.
Councilman Kennedy,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Twiney,
That messed you up, didn't it? Here.
Mayor McKeon,
Here.
Councilman Burns,
Here.
Councilwoman Vandermark,
Here.
Councilman Williams.
Here.
All present.
City Clerk, do we have any supplemental communications?
We have no supplemental communications for this portion of the meeting.
Do we have anyone signed up to speak on the closed session items?
We have 2 people signed up to speak for the closed session items.
Okay.
The City Council will now receive public comments for closed session only. When your name is called, please approach, use both podiums, state your name and organization for the record. Russ Neal and Tim Geddes. Mayor,
Yes.
how much time?
3?
3 minutes.
Go ahead, Russ.
So we're getting 30 minutes here tonight?
3 minutes, gentlemen.
Oh, just, okay, 3. Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. My name is Russell Neal. I live in Huntington Beach. Items 5 and 6 relate to our fight for control of our police force and our municipal elections. As a charter city under the California Constitution, Article 11, Section 5, subsection B, these are our explicit and plenary powers. It comes as no surprise, however, that our state appeals court would act as the reliable goalkeepers for their party while ignoring the Constitution's plain language. This is the nature of a one-party state. Neither can we expect the federal courts to swoop in and save us. Nor are we surprised that an element in our own city would cheer on this state despotism, just begging for the change. I, on the other hand, fully support the city's fight for our constitutional rights. Local control over local matters is an important feature of limited government, a bulwark against the consolidation of power in the central government, just as important as the separation of powers and the same principle found in the federal nature of our U.S. Constitution. The time has come to combine the legal fight with a political one. Other cities, even Los Angeles, are beginning to see the danger of letting the state take total control of local matters. We need to combine with them and move from a strictly legal resistance to the political resistance that will ultimately be necessary. A collective push for the voter ID and our neighborhood voices initiatives is a good place to start. Thank you.
Thanks, Russ.
Good evening, Mayor McKeon and members of the City Council. My name is Tim Geddes. First of all, I would like to congratulate Mayor McKeon on his first full meeting of the last meeting of the year. I would like to request, in the interest of full transparency, that a report be made by the city attorney regarding all closed session items relating to litigation involving the state of California. In the wake of numerous court losses, our citizens deserve the right to know the status of all lawsuits, their costs in time, effort, and expenses, and the risks we face in penalties, fines, and restrictions by continuing to pursue our failed legal courses to date. Thank you.
All right, now including in closed session, we're going to have conference with labor negotiators, government code section 5495.6, Agency Designated Representative Travis Hopkins, City Manager. Also in attendance, Marissa Sir, Assistant City Manager Mike Vigliota, City Attorney, and Zach, I'm not even going to try to pronounce your last name, Assistant Chief Financial Officer, Employee Organizations, Huntington Beach Police Officers Association, and Police Management Association. Sorry, Zach, I'll learn after this how to pronounce your last name. Conference of the Real Property Negotiators, Government Code Section 54956.8, Property 21 and 22 Main Street, Huntington Beach, California. 92648, Agency Negotiators, Travis Hopkins, City Manager, Marissa Sir, ACM, Chris Casanova, Economic Development Manager, Steve Holtz, Deputy Director of Community Development, Jennifer Villasenor, Director of Community Development. Negotiating parties not present, Serve City Partners, LLC, under negotiation, price and terms of lease/payment. Council, to have a motion and a second to recess to closed session.
Second.
Let's recess. Good evening. I'd like to reconvene the regular meeting of the City Council Public Financing Authority and call to order the special meetings of the Housing Authority, Parking Authority, and successor agency to the former redevelopment agency of Huntington Beach. City Clerk, may I please have the roll call?
Councilman Gruhl,
Here.
Councilman Kennedy,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Twining,
Here.
Mayor McKeon,
Here.
Councilmember Burns,
Here.
Councilwoman Vandermark,
Here.
Councilman Williams.
Here.
All present.
Tonight's invocation will be given by Huntington Beach Fire Department Chaplain Jeff Lopez.
Thank you. Council members, members of the public, city staff, other elected officials, thank you for allowing me to do the invocation. I'll be praying according to the Christian faith that I have. If you would like to pray silently with me according to your faith, please do. Heavenly Father, Lord God, I am indeed thankful for everybody gathered here. I thank you for the important business that you've given this council to attend to tonight. As I read this agenda and see the many things that they're facing, and I see a room full of individuals, of people wanting to represent their positions and to communicate with this body. Father, I pray for this evening, Lord, that you would bless it, that you would give wisdom to this council, that you would help them to have good discernment as they face the issues, as they consider options, Lord, as they approve requests from staff. I pray that you'd bless the speakers, help them, Lord, to represent themselves well. Help them to be clear, Father. And I pray that you would enable just a good back and forth process of governance here that would honor you. And we give you thanks and praise. I ask these things in the name of Jesus. Amen.
All right, so I want to start a new tradition with the Pledge of Allegiance portion of the meetings. I have so much respect for our military service members and veterans who provide the foundation that our daily lives rest upon. So I wanted to make the Pledge of Allegiance portion of the meeting a little more special. And American Legion Post 133 in Huntington Beach has agreed to have a service member and veteran lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance each meeting. And a quick bio about Post 133, that they were founded on December 18th in 1919. Today, the Post works with the city to plan its patriotic functions, Veterans Day, Memorial Day, and Patriot Day ceremonies. Once a year, they provide a free lunch for all veterans and a special lunch for World War II veterans. Post 133 adopts needed families to provide Thanksgiving meals and Christmas meals and gifts. In November, they go into the elementary school classrooms and talk to the students about the flag, their service, and they answer questions. They send packages with items requested to the troops overseas. They provide needed personnel items to homeless veterans. They also provide Long Beach VA with gas and food gift cards for their social workers to give to the needy veterans. The Post always marches in the 4th of July parade, and the Post partnered with the Huntington Beach Central Library to open a staff Veterans Resource Center where veterans can go for assistance. And the Post 133 has 478 members. So, yeah. So tonight, the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Jim Rossman, commander of American Legion Post 133. Before Jim leads us in the pledge, I would like to share a little bit about him. Jim Rossman was drafted into the Army in 1968. He went to Fort Ord for basic training, and upon completing basic training, he was assigned to the Military Police Corps. He was sent to Fort Gordon in Georgia for MP training. After that, he attended advanced training, and then he was assigned to Edgewood Arsenal, Maryland, the Chemical Warfare Center. He was then sent to Vietnam, and he was honorably discharged in 1970 at the rank of Sergeant E5. Jim has been in the American Legion for over 25 years and is currently serving as commander of Post 133 in Huntington Beach. Thanks, Jim.
Remove your hats. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. All right, closed session. City Attorney, do we have anything to report from closed session?
Thank you, Mayor Casey. We do have one item. The City Council unanimously gave me authority to file an appeal in the case of City of Huntington Beach versus State of California, USDC case number 8-25-CV-0026-SSSPDX. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, City Council member comments. Does anyone want to make a comment? Councilmember Gruhl?
Yes, first of all, I just want to say Happy Hanukkah to everybody who celebrates. It's a beautiful season. I'd also like to make a quick comment about there was a lot of horrific events that occurred this weekend, so just kind of a thought and prayer for the shooting at Brown University, for the victims of the shooting in Bondi, and as well as the tragic passing of Rob Reiner and his wife. Horrific situation, and my thoughts and prayers do go out to all of the victims and their families.
Thank you. Councilmember Kennedy?
Kind of on that note, a little bit more positive. I'd just like to really show the appreciation for the quick response today at the pier. Our fire department is best of class, second to none. The Marine Safety Division quickly jumped from the pier to basically potentially circumvent the inevitable had they not been there to rescue the two ladies that jumped from the pier. So we can hope and pray that they recover. Had the first responders not been there, the outcome would have been guaranteed. So I'd really like to show my appreciation for our fire and marine safety. Like I said, second to none. And on a quick side note, as we've completed our first year here in front of the city, I wanted to show some appreciation for our city clerk, Lisa Barnes. I think she's done a fantastic job with the learning curve. She's stayed true to her. One of her campaign promises was to get those passports moving along and generate some additional income. So I think she's really stepped up and showed that she's completely capable, and that's why she was elected. So congratulations on your first year.
Thank you, Councilman.
Pat?
I just, one on the passport. I got mine renewed last week and I already got it in the mail. I mean, within a week, it was incredible. The other thing is, I want to thank Qantas. They had a clothes purchasing day, gave approximately, I want to say it was about 125 kids at Walmart. And they took them through. Each person, they had shoppers walk with them, and they treated them to about $125 each of clothes. And I want to thank the Philharmonic for a successful boat parade this last weekend. It was by all accounts, a great success. Thank you.
Gracie?
I'd also like to thank the Porsche Club of America, the Orange Coast region, for holding their Toys for Tots gift collection. It's a success. Also, our U.S. Marine Corps, they show up, they bring some of their vehicles and some of their guns. Kids always love those. Our Huntington Beach PD, who's been there every single year. The mounted officers are a big hit there, so thank you. And also our Huntington Beach Fire, who show up for the event. These gifts are going to make a lot of kids happy, and it's a blessing to have this event here in Huntington Beach at Central Park every year. And
Councilmember Williams?
yeah, I said police.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I think I thanked our HBPD too, but I'm being reminded I should do it again.
Well, I'd just like the opportunity to kind of set the record straight on something that was said from this platform at the last meeting and use this platform to do so. It was implied that staff members are afraid to meet with me based off of what Councilman Twining had said, and that was very bizarre, and so I decided to look into that a little bit, and who would know better than our own city staff manager, who is over all of the staff. And so I asked him, has he ever witnessed such a thing? And his reply was no. And has he ever heard such a thing? His reply was no. But he said that was Butch that said it, so you should take it up with him. And when I went to Butch and asked him, where was that coming from? What was it that I did? He says, it's nothing that you did. And I said, well, what was it that I said? Well, it's nothing that you said. And then I'm like, well, what was it? And he says that somebody had told him one time that sometimes I get this look in my eye. And so it's unfortunate because that had gone out on, a televised meeting. It's on record for, all of time, to read about and see. And I asked if you could just set the record straight, on that. And you did do a Facebook post, and you said they're not afraid of me, they're intimidated by me. And implied something about conflict resolution. But I just want to make the point that I've never had a conflict and I've never had a resolution to make with any staff member. So I'd like to set the record straight on that. And then also just to make a point about the ordering of the agenda, I'm a little bit concerned that free speech is being moved to the back of the line because it is the First Amendment. It shouldn't be last. And I do believe that the public has a right to redress their grievances with their government. And this is really a foundational and fundamental core value of what it is to be an American. It's something I fought for. It's something I've risked life and limb for, and something that men that I care about and love have literally laid down their lives for. And so I'd like to see free speech be prioritized over consultants' times that are being paid money to be here.
So just on that, so as Councilmember Williams mentioned, I've made some changes to the agenda. And as I've mentioned many times, this year I really want to emphasize supporting our businesses in the city, highlighting them, and then attracting new business investment. And with that theme, it's important to remember that city council meetings are business meetings, as we are doing the business of the city. So I made some changes that I believe will make the meeting more efficient, as well as allow more constructive participation by our residents, actually give them more opportunities to actually speak to redress their council members. So we're going to have a speaking time for community event announcements. So oftentimes there's nonprofits that want to come up, and maybe it's a quick little plug for an event coming up that week or in the following week. So that it makes sense to allow them to go first so they can announce that for the community so it's fresh on everyone's mind. Then also I think with this new agenda, it'll I believe, save time and make it more streamlined. So I wanted to bring back some fun things, and one that was really always a resident favorite was the pet adoption. So we're bringing back the pet adoption once a month, and we'll start that tonight. So they'll be at the second meetings of every month. And then, public hearings are, again, business meetings. There are applicants that come before us that spend time and resources. They pay consultants hourly. So I thought it made sense to have them then come up, get that business out of the way, and then really structure public comments next for agendized items. One of the frustrations I've seen is people would come up and speak, and they might have a complaint or they want to redress us about an item that we're actually talking about at that very same meeting, but then they leave and they don't hear us to get to talk about that. So I thought it made sense to have public comments on agendized items. And then at the end of the meeting, if we haven't addressed any of their concerns, then now is another opportunity to speak on non-agendized items so they can talk about anything they want. So those are the changes. I'm optimistic it'll be more streamlined and efficient, and wanted to set that clear for the record. And then before we move on, I just want to move a couple items around tonight. So we're going to move the pet adoption up before the community event announcements. And then we're going to move the mayor spotlight section to after item 11, which is the Kolby Aipa Day. So next is, as I mentioned, is a business highlight section I want to add. So starting tonight, I want to introduce this brief highlight at the beginning of our council meetings to really touch on some new businesses that opened up. So recognizing some of the new businesses that have recently opened here in Huntington Beach. It's a simple way to say welcome and thank you for choosing Huntington Beach and thank you for investing in our community. And these spotlights reflect just a small sample of the many openings happening across Surf City. And we appreciate every single business that decided to make Huntington Beach home. We posted a couple of these online recently and got really good traction, and people were happy about it, so I thought we'd just highlight it here. So here's just a few of the newest businesses to open in our city. So we have Aipa Izakaya on 200 Main Street. Boot Barn, their very first location was in Huntington Beach, and they just reopened at 16100 Beach Boulevard, which is awesome. Callie's Cottage Veterinary Hospital at 16893 Algonquin Street. Fred Astaire Dance Studios at 6821 Warner. Liveville Animal Hospital at 18502 Beach Boulevard. Moon Cha Boba at 6829 Warner. Sky Zone at 777 Edinger Avenue. Smoking Tiger Coffee and Lab at 16622 Beach Boulevard. Sticks and Stones at 21058 PCH at Pacific City. Sullivan Subaru, 18801 Beach Boulevard. Timeless Treasures, 19122 Brookhurst. And Wet Dog Tavern just reopened at 19696 Beach Boulevard in the old Slapfish restaurant that I think Councilmember Grohl knows a little bit about. So again, thank you to all our new businesses for choosing Huntington Beach. We're glad you're here, and we look forward to supporting your success in our community. All right, so the fun part, like I touched on, this was very popular before, so I wanted to bring it back, so the pet adoption. And tonight, I'd like to welcome Alex Pratt and Jonathan Volsky from OC Animal Care in Tustin, who brought a special friend with them tonight, who's up for adoption. And this is Nala. You want to come up? All right. Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor, for having us tonight. I'm Jonathan Volsky with Orange County Animal Care. We also have our Executive Director, Monica Schmidt, here. The star of the show, however, as you mentioned, is Nala. She's a 10-year-old pitty who's been with us since Thanksgiving, and she's a Huntington Beach girl. She was picked up as a stray down at Edwards and McFadden, and as you can tell coming in, she's just the sweetest girl. She loves to walk with you, and she wants to be your dog, and you'll be her person. So right now at the Animal Care, we have a special through December that adopting dogs over 25 pounds, and Nala's just a little bit over that, are free for the rest of the month. And we know that it's a commitment, and we want it to be a commitment, but if you'd like to try out and do a adoption to foster, we allow you to come and take the pup home for a little bit and see how you get along. And we really like that during the holidays, because there's nothing like the dog being in a nice, calm home and you being able to have a nice dog. So she's Nala. We appreciate the city having us here, and we look forward to returning. And ocpetinfo.com is our website, and you can go on there and search for Nala, and you'll find her. You're welcome to walk in and see her. We're at 1630 Victory in Tustin, or you can make an appointment and come in and visit with her. So we'd love to see it, and we'd love to see her go back home to Huntington Beach, where she grew up and loves. So thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Vandermark asked if we need a mascot for city council, so you never know. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. All right, as mentioned, now is the community events announcement portion. City Clerk, do we have anyone signed up for community events announcements?
We have 3 speakers for the community event announcement. The City Council will now receive public comments for community events announcements only. Each organization is allotted 1 minute for its announcement. When your name is called, please approach, use both podiums, state your name and organization for the record. Tim Geddes, Perry Clithrow, Pat Goodman.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Every year, hundreds of unhoused residents die on the streets of Orange County. These are not statistics, they are our neighbors, our family members, and members of our community. This month, we honor their lives during the longest night memorial services on Sunday, December 21st, 2025. 2 memorials I'm aware of will be held at 4 p.m. at Orange Coast Unitarian Universalist Church in Costa Mesa, and at 6:45 p.m. at the Arboretum at Christ Cathedral, Garden Grove. These memorials exist because too many people are still falling through the cracks. I hope you'll join us. Thank you.
Thanks, Pat. Is that it? Okay. We're good? All right, next up is the council committee appointment announcements. Council members, do you have any council committee appointment announcements? Anybody? All right. AB 123 reporting, does anyone have anything to report? Seeing none. Openness and negotiation disclosures. I myself met with the Police Officers Association last Thursday.
I met with POA as well.
Okay, anybody else?
I met with the POA as well.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Next up, we have public comments on agendized administrative items. I'm sorry. And the administrative item next is resolution number 2025-78, declaring each September 18th as Kolby Aipa Day in the city of Huntington Beach. City Clerk, do we have anyone signed up to speak for this item?
Yes, Mayor, we have 2 people, Mr. Amory Hansen and Duke Aipa.
Come on down. Come on, Amory. 3 minutes. Go ahead, Amory.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My name is Mr. Amory Hansen. I'm speaking tonight in support of item 11, the resolution declaring a day in memory of Mr. Kolby Aipa. September 18th will not only honor Mr. Aipa's legacy, but Huntington Beach's legacy as a significant place for a surfing community. I urge the council to show what it means to be Surf City. Once again, I urge a yes vote on item 11. Thank you.
Thank you. Duke.
Hang on, I got to do this with my son. I just want to start this off by saying, Aloha! The city of Huntington Beach has been nothing less but a sign of pure aloha. Coming from Hawaii, where aloha was born and given to the world, Huntington Beach has fostered that feeling of aloha and made it authentic and real. Our family could not have survived this without our community, without the HB board riders, and without rippers like Bailey Turner that represented Huntington Beach and brought gold home. Kolby lives in all of us and every good deed that we do, in the way we humble ourselves and are there and love the people in our community. And people of Huntington Beach, again, I cannot convey thanks enough for the love you've shown for our son. Our son loved this city. He carried this city everywhere he went with his HB board riders at, everywhere in the world. Every surf break he went to, he took HB there. And what did that mean? He took his aloha there too. So, council members, mayor, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for what you are going to do today. And this day, it won't just be about Kolby. It'll be about community, love, humility, and what we can do to make each other better. Mahalo.
Councilmember Kennedy.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a very humbling time, but a very joyous time as well. It's our honor here to vote on a resolution number 2025-78. I have a good feeling that it's going to meet with a resounding result, but I wanted to take a moment just to read a little bit of the resolution for those who might not have taken the time. A resolution of the City Council of Huntington Beach declaring each September 18th as Kolby Aipa Day. This resolution is a testament and a summary of Kolby Aipa. Whereas Kolby Aipa was a graduate of Huntington Beach High School and a beloved member of the Huntington Beach community. And Kolby was a renowned surfer, a member of the Huntington Beach Board Riders Club, and an inductee in the Surfers Hall of Fame. And Kolby came from a respected family of surfers as the son of Duke and Val Aipa and grandson of legendary Hawaiian board shaper and surfer Ben Aipa. And Kolby was known for his kindness. This is so important. And after his tragic and untimely passing on August 5th, the community honored his life with an epic paddle out on the north side of the pier. So to continue the legacy of aloha and honor his legacy and memorialize his life, the city of Huntington Beach declares and desires to establish September 18th as Kolby Aipa Day in the city of Huntington Beach. Now therefore, the City Council of the City of Huntington Beach does hereby resolve September 18th each year is hereby declared to be Kolby Aipa Day in the city of Huntington Beach. The city encourages its residents, schools, and communities, organizations to observe this day with appropriate educational programs, civic activities that celebrate the kindness and the community involvement in the spirit of aloha exemplified by Kolby Aipa. Hopefully it says passed and adopted on this day. I just want to say the Aipas and spending time with the Aipas, they're an incredible family. The support that the city has shown and the surfing community, not just here in Huntington Beach, but really worldwide. You can see it in the stories posted. You can see it from here to the islands and around the world, that a young man that many of us did not know has touched many hearts across the world with his gestures that are learned through third-party stories as people have talked about Kolby with such fondness and such love, and his true friends have come out. My prayer for the Aipas is knowing that your child is held by Jesus, surrounded by love beyond anyone's understanding, and may God's peace carry you until the days you are reunited. Love the Aipas.
Any more comments? Yeah, go ahead.
I'd just like to make a comment that I was there at the paddle out for Kolby, and so deeply just impacted and moved to see how many people showed up that knew him, that loved him, that were just impacted by him. And one of the big takeaways was just how much love and heart and the aloha that was there, and just realizing just what an impact this young man had on so many and will continue to have as his name will go down in history September 11th here in Huntington Beach. He's done so much more already than so many of us will ever do with whatever life that we have left while we're here on earth. And one of the moving things, too, that I remember was just hearing how he had come to faith in Christ, how his relationship with Jesus had really entered into a new stride. And I'm reminded of the words of Jesus, and I just feel like this really hits when Jesus says that he is the resurrection and the life. He says, he who believes in me, though he may die, he shall live. And he who lives and believes in me shall never die. Jesus' question to all of us is, do you believe that? And Kolby believed that. And I'm reminded of C.T. Studd's words, and I think this is a reflection of Kolby. He says, one life, it will soon pass, and only what's done for Christ will last. But when I'm dying, how happy I'll be if the lamp of my life is burned out for thee. In the end, he didn't burn out for self, he burned out for thee, and he's an inspiration to all of us and to Kolby's parents, families, and loved ones. He who believes in Jesus, he shall never die, he shall live, you shall see him again. And so I just want to share that.
Thank you. I didn't really know Kolby that well. I ran into him at Sugar Shack and HSS. Kind of hard. He's kind of a hard kid to miss. Never knew Val and Duke that well either until after the tragedy. And what I learned was why Kolby was such an incredible young man. So that's because he's got incredible parents, an incredible family. And I love you guys, and I look forward to spending more times together and more times recognizing and remembering Kolby. Thank you.
And I'll just say I echo Butch's statements. Unfortunately, I had not met the Aipas until the tragedy, but since then, I mean, Duke and his wife and family have just been amazing, such a strong pillar of our community. And I know nothing that we're going to do up here is going to take away your guys' pain, but I am honored, and I know I speak for all of us up here, and privileged to be able to memorialize Kolby in some way forevermore in Huntington Beach, and forevermore will be September 18th will be Kolby Aipa Day. And with that, I'd like to make a motion to move resolution number 2025-78.
Second.
Gracie?
I'll be really short. I don't think I'll make it through a long speech. One thing that I saw when Kolby passed away is the unity that he brought. All these people came together, and it showed what Huntington Beach is truly about. When we only hear the negative, the bad, the complaints people have, Kolby brought so much strength from the community out for everyone to see. We had people up and down that pier just to come and honor him, people who had never met him, but people who just wanted to come together to honor him. So in that moment, I knew exactly the type of parents and family, and his sister as well. I had a very short opportunity to talk to her. You guys are an amazing family. You've raised an amazing son, and I'm thankful that he brought the real true beauty of Huntington Beach out for everybody to see.
All right, the motion's been moved and seconded. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Gruhl,
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy,
With full aloha, yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Twining,
Aloha, yes.
Mayor McKeon,
Aloha, yes.
Councilman Burns,
Aye.
Councilwoman Vandermark,
Absolutely.
Councilman Williams.
Yes. Aloha!
Duke,
7-0.
Duke, would you guys like to come down and we have a resolution? Take a photo with you guys, if that'd be okay? Tough to follow that. All right. Next up is the Mayor Spotlight Awards. So I wanted to take time tonight to talk about the Mayor Spotlight Awards. We host these each month in the council chambers, and it's held the fourth Tuesday of the month from 3 to 4:30. And I just want to give a quick acknowledgement. Last month, we recognized the newly crowned Miss Huntington Beach, Gabrielle Simi, and her court princesses, Analea Laparn and Liliana Mindell. We also honored American Legion Post 133 for all their incredible work. As mentioned, from planning Veterans Day, 9/11, and Memorial Day ceremonies to assisting vets at the Veterans Resource Center at Central Library, they have been an instrumental part of HB for 109 years. Look at those guys. We had our HB Mayor's Excellence Award, which is our Employee of the Month, was Monica Candelario, who works as a parking and camping supervisor at the beach and does an amazing job. And then in addition, the Huntington Beach Harbor Commission nominated Keisha Kenny for her dedication and efforts in implementing a native oyster restoration project in the harbor. And then we gave a huge thank you to resident Brett Rudy, who was on the scene at that horrific accident on PCH in October that claimed the life of one bicyclist, and he was able to help save the lives of 2 other victims. So very powerful. So thank you, Brett. And we have someone special here tonight to receive an award. We call it a little audible. So HB's own Bailey Turner. So Bailey Turner, HB's own. HB Surfing Royalty family, the Turner family. I actually went to school with your brother. I mean, your brother, geez, your father. I'm not that young. So Bailey was in Punta Rocas, Peru over the weekend for the 2025 ISA World Junior Surfing Championships, and she won gold. In the girls under 16 bracket, and we have a few photos of her amazing weekend to share with everybody. Look at that, just shredding. Nice. Just snapping. So Bailey, please tell us how it feels to be a world champion. Come on. Don't be shy. Speech.
Yeah, it feels good. I just want to thank everybody here and everybody who's always like helped me with everything and the whole board riders and everybody from Huntington. So, yeah.
Nice. So if you guys don't know, their family owns a sugar shack. If you don't know that, you should. So on behalf of the council, City Council, Bailey, we want to present you with this commendation on becoming a world surfing champion. And we all know this is just the beginning for you, so congratulations. Let's take a photo. Also, supervisor in the Wynn's office is here to us also with the commendation.
Look up right here.
For the TV audience, we're just letting the room clear for a little bit. All right, next on the agenda is the first public hearing, number 12. I am recusing myself from participation in this agenda item because of a financial conflict of interest in the project, as I am employed by the applicant, so Butch Twani, Mayor Pro Tem, will be taking over.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item number 25930, to adopt a resolution number 2025-74, approving general plan amendment number 20001. Approved for introduction ordinance number 4345, approving zoning text amendment number 20002, and adopt resolution number 202573, approving environmental assessment number 21001, amendment number 2 to the Holly Seacliff specific plan environmental impact report number 8911. City Clerk, do we have any oh, excuse me, what? Oh, 89, sorry. City Clerk, do we have any supplemental communications for this item?
We have no supplemental communication.
Perfect. Staff, please introduce your report.
Good evening. Can you hear me? Okay.
Let me just introduce you, Joanna. Mayor and City Council, Joanna Cortez, I think Senior Planner or Principal Planner, will provide the staff report. Thank you.
Sure. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the City Council. So the request before you tonight is for a site located at 19026 Golden West Street. It is specifically at the southeast corner of Golden West Street and Garfield Avenue. The current general plan land use designation is industrial with a specific plan overlay, and the zoning designation is SP9, commonly known as the Holly Seacliff specific plan. The project is surrounded by industrial uses to the north, south, and east. Commercial is located across Golden West, and residential is catty corner of the site. There are multiple facets to the request, and I'll quickly go over each request. So the first one being the general plan amendment, the GPA, and the request is to allow the general plan land use designation to go from industrial to commercial neighborhood to allow a proposed commercial use, similar to the commercial center across the street. So as you can see right here, we have the existing general plan land use map. It's currently zoned as industrial with a specific plan overlay to the left. To the right is the proposed general plan land use with the new land use designation, which is commercial neighborhood with a specific plan overlay. The next request is for a zoning text amendment to modify the zoning map within the specific plan from industrial to commercial. So instead of doing a zoning map amendment, we're changing it within the specific plan. So once again, to the left we have the existing use designation, and then to the right we have the proposed for the site, the subject site that's being proposed today. And then the final portion of the request is an addendum to the specific plan's environmental impact report, which was prepared to analyze the potential environmental impacts of the proposed request. The project, including what's presented to you today along with the actual development portion of the request, was reviewed by the Design Review Board on November 13th of this year, and they provided suggested conditions of approval. The project was also presented at the November 20th Planning Commission meeting of this year, and it was approved with the project, the development portion was approved with conditions of approval, and the legislative items, the GPA, the ZTA, and the EA were recommended for the City Council's approval. This is just a quick overview of the development. The commercial project includes a tentative parcel map, which was to consolidate 8 lots into 2 parcels, and then a conditional use permit to construct a service station with a drive-through car wash tunnel. And you can see to the north portions of the site is the proposed fuel center. Down to the south is the drive-through car wash tunnel which then leads to the vacuum stalls on the east side of the site. Once again, the Planning Commission approved this on November 20th of this year. This is a rendering with the view from Golden West Street. You can see the tunnel entrance from Golden West. So the general plan amendment would extend the existing commercial neighborhood designation to this site, similar to what's currently across the street at where the Ralph's store is currently at. The zoning text amendment to implement the land use designation proposed as part of the general plan amendment, so it would be consistent with one another. The approval of the zoning text amendment will ensure that the project is consistent with the development standards for commercial uses as outlined in the Holly Seacliff Specific Plan, or SP9, and the Huntington Beach Zoning and Subdivision Ordinance. So it'll be compatible with existing uses that are currently there. So approval of the project is based on the following: that the addendum number 2 to the environmental impact report was prepared in compliance with SECA guidelines. The project is consistent with the general plan and its goals and policies, that it's consistent with the surrounding area, and that it will improve an existing vacant site with commercial development consistent with other uses within the vicinity, and that the development of commercial uses on the subject property would result in less impacts to nearby residences than an industrial use for what the site is currently zoned for. Therefore, the recommendation is that the City Council approve environmental assessment number 21-001, which is also known as addendum number 2 to the Holly Seacliff Specific Plan Environmental Impact Report, as adequate and complete in accordance with CEQA, and approve general plan amendment number 20-001, and approve zoning text amendment number 20-002. This concludes staff's presentation. Staff is available for any questions. I also have the applicant here for any further questions. Thank you.
All right. Let me see what we got here. Council members, do you have any questions on the report? Chad.
I'm just curious about the adequacy of an addendum to the EIR. We've kind of been down this road before. Last year with the Symphony of Flowers, we did an addendum to an EIR, and it turned out to not necessarily be, I guess, sufficient enough to hold up against potential litigation. So I'm just wondering, what makes this case maybe different?
So when it comes to CEQA, we have certain impact questions that we have to analyze for all projects, including any addendum to an EIR or any sort of environmental document. The way that it's been proposed is based on substantial evidence. So any CEQA analysis that was done, any impact question that was answered in the addendum includes substantial evidence to back up those responses. And in doing that, we've concluded that there are no new significant impacts that would result from this proposed project that weren't previously analyzed under the specific plan environmental impact report. So we feel it's legally defensible, and that's why we're recommending approval to the City Council.
Councilman Kennedy.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I just have a quick question for the applicant. When as one of the liaisons to the Design Review Board, I sat in the previous meeting, and the applicant was very amicable to a color change suggestion by one of the Design Review Board members. They were willing to make those changes. I think that's probably one of the conditions of the CUP, if I recall. Is that right, Jennifer?
That's correct.
One of the conditions, okay. And we appreciate that. Another suggestion was adding a few additional trees along the Golden West side, and they were good with that, and I appreciate that as well. One of the reasons, the preface for changing the colors was just to kind of make it, I'm not going to say classier than other cities, but as we continue to try and present an image, it was kind of prefaced that way, and there was no pushback from the applicant. The one other thing that came up in the meeting was on the logo facing Golden West. I know right now we're just looking at an illustration, and it looks like there's a big white background and then your logo. Will the signage have that big bright white and then the real colorful logo? Or one of the suggestions that came out of that meeting was a way to potentially maybe modify not the image, but the look and maybe the color palette, so it's not quite so animated looking. Is that something you guys are willing to consider?
Good evening, Council. My name is Vance Shannon, and I'm the Director of Entitlements for Quick Quack Car Wash. We are working very diligently on the design aspects of the building and the materials used. I think we'll come up with something that will be very appealing and step up the look. The signage is really difficult. The sign permits are done differently. It's not under approval at this point. It goes through a different process. We're changing dramatically all of the look of the building away from what our typical branded look is. We have 300 stores throughout the United States, and it's very important for us to maintain that. So signage is one of those, and we really would like to maintain the look of the sign, but are willing and are in the process of changing the materials to a stone material. The brighter colors have been reduced and made into more muted tones so that it will be more attractive and more congruent to the community.
Okay, and we appreciate that. I know sitting in the meeting, you guys were very willing to make those changes, and it's appreciated. It was all under the premise. I think they used the Chick-fil-A with the kind of the one-off, the brick look on Beach Boulevard. I think you guys were going to go take a look at that. And nobody's asking you to really modify your brand beyond recognition. Maybe if you're willing to even contemplate maybe a couple different iterations of the backing plate behind the duck, just maybe some kind of a stone type slate or something. I guess just whether or not that's going to affect how I'm going to vote, just maybe an ask, maybe to consider that as you get into finals. You can say, hey, what do you guys think about this? Something to consider, that's all.
Understood. And I will say we actually are taking it a step beyond what we talked about during the design review board. And we're really going to dress it up very beautifully. I think you'll really like it. Still needs to come back to the committee and have them review our changes. So that when we have looked at the Chick-fil-A very closely, I think we've gone beyond that to really make it something that fits in and is very congruent to what you're looking for here in your community. I will take your recommendations back. We have a board ourselves that is our branding board, and they look at all of the different design elements as we go through the process. And I will suggest your needs and what you're requesting from us, and see if there isn't something we can do. I can't promise it here today. It's not.
I appreciate just even the action of trying to come up with some iterations. You don't have to make a promise. It just was a question. That's all.
I can promise I'll try.
Thank you.
I'll present it.
Thank you. Fair enough.
Anybody else? Councilman Gruhl?
Just one quick question. It's very high level, but for the purposes of just kind of public discussion, and I imagine this is covered in the EIR, but just in regards to the infrastructure when you're putting in a car wash with the water systems, the stormwater systems, are there upgrades that are required when putting in that specific use?
I'm really glad you asked that question. The EPA highly recommends using a professional car wash like ours. Every bit of the water that we use in our wash goes back into a central trench, then goes through 3 1,500-gallon reclamation tanks and is used over and over and over again in the wash. When you wash your car in your driveway, you'll use 125 gallons of water. All that water will go into the stormwater system, lakes, rivers, and ultimately into the ocean, especially here. Ours all goes back into the sewer system, and we use about 25 gallons of water per car. So it's about a quarter or even a fifth of what you would use otherwise. So we reclaim all of the water that we use and recycle that and put it back into the wash.
Excellent. Thank you. Hits all the sustainability marks.
Anybody else? All right. I'm going to open the public hearing now. Do we have any speakers?
Yes, we have one speaker.
Excellent.
The City Council will now receive public comments for the public hearing item only. Each speaker is allotted 3 minutes. When your name is called, please approach, use both podiums, state your name and organization for the record. Brian Thenis.
Yeah, hi, Brian Thenis here, your favorite planning commissioner. Mayor Pro Tem Twining, council members, I am here to support item 12, 2025-74 for the specific plan amendment. But I'd like to first congratulate City Council on a great job. Councilmember Burns, great year being mayor. You accomplished a lot. This council has accomplished a lot. Ever since the Fab Four was elected, you know, the homeless problem seemed to significantly decrease, and you know, we haven't really approved any or started any high-density developments due to your mandates to have your city attorney fight Gavin Newsom, and I just appreciate how hard you all are working to protect the integrity of our city. I don't think people realize how important that is. I watch other public agencies and they are just out of control, and I don't know how they're going to deal with all this high-density development that they've put in their cities. The infrastructure just can't handle it. Anyway, I just wanted to let council know that the Planning Commission did unanimously approve this project. I know it doesn't look like the quality of what we'd want to see in the city of Huntington Beach for the look of the building. That was my idea on the design review committee. I just said, hey, is everybody good with the site plan, the layout, and how everything works? And then we conditioned the project to have to come back to the design review committee to make sure that it looks like the quality of building that we're used to seeing here. So I just want to offer my support for this project. It's a rezoning from industrial to retail, and anytime you can do that, that's a great thing for the city, for our revenue and our tax basis, and I think it'll be a good amenity for the citizens. So thank you, and thank you for everything you do for us.
Thank you, Commissioner Theens. Is that it?
That concludes the speakers.
Okay.
I'll move the item as recommended.
We have a second?
Second.
All right. Madam Clerk, could you please take roll?
Certainly. Councilman Gruhl?
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Twining?
Yes.
Mayor McKeon? Oh, recused, my apologies. Councilman Burns?
Aye.
Councilwoman Vandermark?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes 7-0. Thank you. 6-0.
All right, next on the agenda is item 13, another public hearing, 25-952, adopt ordinance number 4343, adopting the 2025 Model California Construction Codes, approved for introduction on November 4th, 2025, and it was approved by a vote of 7-0. City Clerk, do we have any supplemental communications for this item?
No supplemental communications.
Thank you. Staff, please introduce the report.
Thank you, Mayor. We have no presentation tonight. We did provide a presentation when the item was introduced on November 4th, and the presentation is available online and in your agenda materials. Staff is recommending that the City Council open the public hearing and adopt Ordinance 4343. Staff is available for any questions. Thank you.
Mayor McKeon?
Yep.
My apologies. We have to read the ordinance for the previous.
Okay, hold on, let me go back.
You don't have to go back.
She's just reading.
Just making sure.
There's an ordinance for introduction. I'd like to read the ordinance number 4345 for the record. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Huntington Beach amending the Holy See Cliff specific plan to rezone the real property located at 19026 Golden West Street from Industrial 1 to Commercial C zoning text amendment number 20-002.
Perfect. So now back to item 13. Does any council members have questions on the report that's on the agenda? No? Butch, can I have my gavel back? Thanks, Butch. All right, open the public hearing. Clerk, do we have anyone signed up to speak?
No one signed up to speak.
All right, close the public hearing. Council discussion, anybody? I'll move the item. Mayor Pro Tem Butch, second. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Grohl?
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Twining? Yes. Mayor McKeon?
Yes.
Councilman Burns?
Aye.
Councilwoman Vandermark?
Yes.
Councilman Chad?
Yes.
Williams? Motion passes 7-0.
All right, next on the agenda is public comments on agendized items. City Clerk, do we have any supplemental communications?
Yes, we have supplemental communications. 5 emails for item number 14. For item number 18, a memo and a revised 2026 council liaison list. Item number 30, 1 email. Item number 31, a memo received updating the recommended actions pertaining to the construction contract for the tide check valves within the Huntington Harbor project. Item number 32, memo received updating the recommended actions pertaining to the construction contract for the bluff top slope repair project.
Clerk, do we have anyone signed up to speak for agendized items?
Yes, we have 11 speakers.
Okay. We can please call them all down. And obviously, this is a new portion of the meeting. When you come up, please mention which item you will be speaking on the agenda.
The City Council will now receive public comments for agendized items only on the open agenda session. When your name is called, please approach, use both podiums, state your name and organization and item number that you're speaking on for the record. Tim Geddes, Charlie Jackson, Peter Townsend, Roz Price, Chris Brine, Denora Echeverra, Diane Bentley, Chris Reaney, David Reinerson, Pat Goodman, Perry Clithrow.
You guys can have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Mayor McKeon and members of the City Council. Tim Geddes in the House. I am speaking on agenda items 973, but before I do, I was hoping for a more substantive report from the city attorney regarding litigation with the state of California from closed session, other than, you guys have apparently decided to repeal it. I'm just wondering, we deserve more information on that because it's cost us plenty in the past. And so anyway, I just wanted to get that. As far as the liaison list goes, does it make much of a difference to the community what flavor of MAGA goes where? Will it be Larry, Moe, and Curly or Shemp? No matter to us. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Next speaker, please.
My name is Diane Bentley. I'm speaking on item 14.
14.
The proposed idea of co-locating the H.B. Surf Museum within the Main Street Library raises so many serious issues that it begs the question of how this concept even got this far. The biggest issue is the complete lack of consistency between the purposes of a library and that of a museum. A library is supposed to be a place of quiet reading and research, while a museum is a place where people go to observe displays and discuss them. The proposal to display Surf Museum artifacts in the research section of the library means that people will be wandering around and making noise while people are trying to work quietly. Not a good solution for either purpose. Another issue is the housing of a private collection of surf memorabilia in a public building. That raises issues of security and liability. Will the city be responsible for insurance costs to protect the collection? Will the owner of the Surf Museum pay rent to the city for the use of the public space in the library? If not, this is yet another giveaway of space by the City Council at a time when the city budget is in deficit. There seems to be an idea that the Surf Museum is a major tourist attraction in the city. If that is the case, a location near the beach and the pier makes more sense than a location several blocks away. The Main Street Library is not a good location for the Surf Museum. Find a more appropriate location and leave the library alone.
Thanks, Diane. Next speaker, please.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I just want to express my support for the Kolby Aipa Day. That was, as a parent, I can't even imagine losing a child, and thank you guys for representing that and allowing his legacy to continue to grow in our beautiful city. I'd also like to take a moment to express my excitement about the proposed co-location for the Huntington Beach International Surf Museum on Main Street at the library. This is a wonderful opportunity to strengthen the cultural heart of downtown Huntington Beach by bringing our wonderful, renowned surf heritage together with space that's dedicated to learning, history, community, connection. Housing the Surf Museum alongside the Main Street Library creates a welcoming, accessible hub where residents, students, and visitors can engage with what truly makes Huntington Beach Surf City, USA. This moment feels especially meaningful as we celebrate the next generation of surfers. I'd like to congratulate, but it sucks because our whole audience is gone because we get to do our comments at the end, Casey, so these people aren't here to hear this. I want to give a meaningful celebration and accolade to Bailey Turner, who recently won the surfing competition, right? That's huge. Oh, she's not here for me to hear that. But anyways, this is a huge moment. It's something that continues to grow and thrive in our community. I'm grateful for the thoughtful discussion and leadership about this project and moving it forward. As someone who is running for city council member in the city of Huntington Beach in 2026, I care deeply about preserving our community and the history while thoughtfully investing our future. I also want us to take a moment to recognize and celebrate not only Hanukkah, but Christmas and the full meaning of Christmas, and that is Christ. So let us never forget what it is about. With that said, I am with a nonprofit called Bug Angels. I support our local military and homeless people in our community. I was able to tour the facility with Lieutenant Altenbach. Thank you for setting that up, Casey. And rock on. Roz Price, do not forget my name, City Council 2026.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Charlie Jackson. I have a bit of a cold. I'll talk about agenda item 15 and 22.
Okay.
Agenda item 15 will authorize $230,000, and item 22 will authorize $168,000 for a total of almost $400,000. Neither of these items has been well motivated, and I didn't see a benefit to them based on what has been presented. For the downlink item, there's a pretty picture. How many times would it have been crucial? Wouldn't one more cop on the beach be better? How will a new fire chief make Huntington Beach safer? Item 22 is on the consent agenda, so it won't even be discussed. Huntington Beach recently had some serious flooding, and there has been no mention of what will be done to prevent that in the future. Would the money for the downlinks be better spent on infrastructure? We have not been given any cost-benefit analysis of these things, and not even a pro and con table. Since I have a little more time, also we didn't hear about the proposal for the drones, so if you could update us on the future, that would be good.
Thanks, Charles. Denora.
Good evening to all you guys, city manager, the city mayor, and also all your council. A lot of you guys know who I am, Dinora Chavarria, native from Cuba, brought to this country by the U.S. federal government, and I have history if anybody want to see it. The reason I'm here, first of all, to support all those great officers and firefighter that's keeping us safe and doing a great job. I also got four sheriff in my family. They know I am a decent citizen. The reason that I'm homeless, after 40 years of work and pay taxes, I've been deprived of housing after I retired by Hispanic. They discriminate against Cuba. And I put in application for coastland. And I never say better as a decent citizen. I say, make sure while this lottery don't pass me so I don't have to break news and let the whole world know that Mexico, with all due respect, is discriminating against Cuban. And we grew up as a kid, 1969, in Yoba Linda, and we went to Orange High School where we was taught how to speak English. And you have this young lady by the name of Donna that I've been trying from the beginning of the year to make a meeting with the city manager.
Denora.
Very nasty, hanging me up.
Denora, sorry, for this portion of the meeting, you're supposed to talk about something on the agenda. Is there anything on the agenda you want to
That
talk?
agenda, I'm sorry, thank you because all this is new. That agenda first, I'm reading here, since English is my second language, Spanish is my first. It said development required by government. Government did not bring me here to let me down. And I know you guys are government. I appreciate you guys, great job. And I want you guys to call me when Coastline is ready so I don't have to be homeless. I never drank, neither drink or done drugs. I appreciate all you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Denora.
Thank you.
David.
So I have several questions about item 14 regarding the co-location of the HB International Surf Museum and the Main Street Library. The first question is why? What is the perceived benefit to the city? The second question is why now? Regarding the question why, is the ISM donating their collection to the city? Is PT donating his private collection to the city? If not, in either case, why would the city take on the liability of housing a private collection? Who's going to pay for the insurance? Is the ISM going to pay rent? It should not be lost on anyone that just before this plan was hatched, the ISM was about a year behind in paying their rent at their current location. Does the ISM generate any revenue for the city's benefit besides potential rent? Regarding why now, the city is spending significant money developing a master plan for the library system. Why jump the gun before this plan is finalized? The Main Street Library is already undersized, and giving up room to the ISM makes that even worse. Placing display items like longboards in the main library against the east wall as shown in the plans conflicts with the existing display of historical Huntington Beach photos and would also encourage ISM visitors to walk through the main library. This will be disruptive to the library's primary purpose of quiet reading and concentration. Co-locating a museum and a library is in conflict with the primary function of a library. Based on the most recent public briefing, this move is not consistent with the master plan either, so maybe that's why it's being pushed forward now. No coherent reason is given for making this move. It's not consistent with the library master plan. There's no demonstrable value to the city and to the residents. This appears to be yet another deal using public funds for the benefit of friends and supporters of the current council. Vote no on this ill-conceived and dishonest proposal. Thank you.
Next speaker, please. Chris.
Good evening, Chris Rini. I'm speaking about agenda item 14. Thank you for posting the PowerPoint on the agenda. It was a good start. But the PowerPoint shows inconsistencies, poorly addresses present and future needs, and ignores incompatibilities with the proposed idea. Slide 3 shows that the ISM needs more space in order to display surfboards. The square footage analysis on slide 5 shows that the ISM is using 230 square feet out of 1,184 square feet available. In other words, 80% of the floor square footage is not being used. The assessment in Main Street Library presumes displaying surfboards on the public library stacks, which is coded green on slide 5, while sharing the multipurpose room and giving the ISM 2 rooms coded blue. Frankly, I wonder why a museum that is only using 20% of the space it already has needs to move, take 2 rooms from the library, overflow into the main reading room, as well as share storage. The relocation cost estimates on slide 8 don't account for upgrading 1950s electrics, ADA compliance, or any updates for managing temperature, relative humidity, or UV in either display or storage areas. Now, come on. It's a 70-year-old building. There's always going to be a surprise when you pull out walls and realize that there's damage we didn't know was there. Now, if the reason to move the ISM is to display surfboards better, improve access to the Peter Townend collection, and do right by our artifacts, I do not see these issues being addressed whatsoever. Slide 11 has a misstatement. The operating hours of ISM and Main Street Library are not the same. Main Street is closed on Sunday, and the library was closed during the air show this year. It would really be a shot in the foot to have our signature surfing museum closed on our city's biggest and most lucrative event. Also, we have a budget shortfall. Do we have the money for more hours? Do we have the money for museum staff? Do we have the money for archivists? There's no mention either of the ISM 990 form. Lastly, ISM is not unique. It is one of 5 surfing museums in California. San Clemente's rated better. Oceanside has its own building. The city's report looks at square footage, omits foot traffic usage data or future needs. It doesn't really visualize a destination museum. It looks more like shoehorning a stopgap measure. Now, we have the library master plan. This would be a wonderful time to integrate with Johnston Favaro, work with the master plan, and build a standalone surfing museum. This room was packed earlier, showing how much people care about surfing, and frankly, Kolby deserves better.
Thank you. PT.
I'm Peter P.T. Townend. I'm Executive Director of the Huntington Beach International Surfing Museum. It's a bit of a Surf City night in the council chambers tonight. I've got my Kolby wristband still on from the day we had, which was fantastic, and it's fantastic for the young Turner to win a world championship. It's been a long time since Surf City had a world champion, and I think that deserves another round of applause. Just a little history here. So a little over 2 years ago, at the time, Mayor Strickland encouraged me we need to do a better job with the museum from point of view the Olympics. We were trying to get the Olympics, and if we were going to be a destination for the Olympics, the Surf Museum would be an important part of that. And so I began the process of why we're all standing here tonight talking about this. And in going into the library and looking around and seeing what was going on, about 50% of the building isn't even being utilized. And Tony said, well, let's get moving on this. And even though we didn't get the Olympics, there's going to be 30 million visitors coming in 2.5 years to California. I think it's even more important now that our museum, our surf museum, one of the only, if not the only museum as an asset to the city, in the city, that we are going to be a better surf museum, world class, that's going to attract some of those people, because that's good for business.
Thanks, PT.
Hi.
Go ahead, Pat.
Hello. Again, Mayor McKeon and council members. I think there are a lot of questions around this issue, and I would just really encourage us to all try to work within the library master plan and do some really great brainstorming and just generate ideas, and out of that would come some solutions to what we're looking to do. And we really need a good museum that's going to be first rate. And not that co-locating it may or may not work, but really to look at the inventory of sites that you have in the city and where would be the best place, and do some serious fundraising and support for this as an asset within our city. It would be just such a fun and creative project for the people to get behind. But as presented, we need more information, study sessions, that kind of thing. And I was too very confused why this is separate from the discussion around the library master plan. So I'd appreciate any answers to that question. Thank you.
Thank you. Perry, go ahead.
Good evening, councilors. My name is Perry Clitheroe. Thank you for having me this evening. I want to start by expressing my condolences to Kolby and his family. Losing a young, promising person is devastating. I wish, like a few others, that I could say it's unimaginable, but one of my earliest memories is being awakened in the middle of the night as my home filled with loved ones and family weeping after my cousin Christina Bridges, who herself was just starting college, was killed at Brookhurst and Adams. In 2022, the most recent data available, the California Office of Traffic Safety recorded that 929 people were injured or killed by traffic violence here in Huntington Beach. I urge the city to consider honoring all victims of traffic violence, either tonight or at another time, so that no family feels invisible. If I'm honest, though, resolution doesn't feel like enough. The most meaningful way to honor Kolby, Christina, and every other person we've lost is through action. Empower our Public Works Department to implement proven modern street designs and infrastructure that reduce the number and the severity of accidents and make our roads not only safer, but also more efficient for everyone who uses them. I bring this stuff up because I don't want you guys to feel like you're attacked, but our infrastructure was designed in the 60s. The entire world, since we've built it, has designed road networks, and they've learned a lot. There's a lot that engineers have learned. There's a lot we can do to improve it. The proclamation is great, I support it, but I think trying to make the city a safer place would be much better. I was only planning to speak on this, but I was looking at the library stuff too. I won't pretend I'm an expert or looked at any of the technical details. I find it hard to imagine it's going to be easy to shoehorn the Surf Museum in there, but I'll be honest, that's a beautiful property downtown, and that's a pretty old building, not taking up a lot of space on that property. So I almost wonder if a new building might be the way to get both of those organizations able to work together. And if you guys have any issues with that, especially if you're trying to streamline it for the Olympics, I will be at every community event standing for that project. Thank you for your attention. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Good evening.
On the sides.
Say what?
Chris, on the sides of the desk. Julie's got you here.
Come on, Julie.
There you go. Tall drink of water.
All right, hello. I'm here to speak on 14. I'm in support of number 14, bringing the Surf Museum, which in my estimation is pretty small, and we could do better with a bigger space. And I think the library, the space in there that's not being utilized is a perfect spot to bring everything up there. Also, it'll bring foot traffic up Main Street, hopefully, give people a reason to walk up there past the retail outlets on 3rd and 4th block. And also, maybe even people will recognize that we have an art center, because I think there's only about 8 people in this city that recognize we have an art center. So I think it makes a lot of sense to make that kind of a little cultural area. And so that's it. Bring the Surf Museum up there to the library.
Thanks, Chris. All right, moving on the agenda, we're going to have the city manager's report. Travis, city manager, please introduce the report.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I have one item for the 2 agendized items. Jason Smith, our city treasurer, has 2 updates.
So 2 very fast updates. While you pull up the community one, I'll do the other one. So actually, we'll do the community one first. So financial literacy workshop. Next one is going to be, our second one is going to be on January 14th at 6 p.m. in the Central Library. There is a sign up that will come in just a second on the screen. So folks can go there or check the website for more details about the content of the January 14th workshop. The slide will also have the incremental 3 additional workshops that will take place in February, March, and April. And while we're here on a business note, very positive, hot off the presses today, the California Municipal Treasurers Association certified our 2026 investment policy in advance of us putting it in place January 1st. That's exciting. They're the gold standard as far as investment policies go. This is the 3rd time in recent years that we've received this certification, and it takes place after 3 peer reviews that all gave us extremely positive feedback. We will also be getting certification, hopefully, from the Association of Public Treasurers before January 1st as well, if not in early January. So all in all, good news regarding our investment policy. One last note with relation to that, if anybody is interested, we are releasing broker-dealer applications right now to seat new broker-dealers in January of 2026. So if there's any, we have preference for local dealers. So if any broker-dealers are interested, please contact me in the Treasurer's office. Thank you.
Thanks, Jason. All right, Travis.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and City Council. So this section of the agenda is the City Manager Report. I just want to point out a couple things. Historically, study session items happened before the 6 o'clock meeting, and this City Council has chosen, and I'm kind of speaking to the public, is these two items are being done as a study session item. The council wanted them during the regular part of the meeting so more people would be aware of the content and hear about this information. So items 14 and 15 are not being voted on tonight by the City Council. These are informational items for the community to become aware of these items, as well as the City Council to discuss and ask questions.
That's a good point, because there was some emails that came in, and I confirmed that these are in fact study session items. So thank you for clarifying.
So moving forward, we'll start on item number 14 is the Huntington Beach International Surf Museum. This was a council member item, council member initiated item, and this is information following up from our staff of details about how this could occur, and is open for discussion of City Council. And we're going to have Ashley Wysocki, our Community and Library Services Director, provide the study session item.
Good evening, Mayor McKeon and members of the City Council. This evening, we will be providing follow-up to Councilmember Item 25492 regarding the co-location of the Huntington Beach International Surf Museum at Main Street Library. Also joining me this evening are representatives from the Huntington Beach International Surfing Museum Board of Directors, President Fred Wilson, Vice President Glenn Brummage, Executive Director P.T. Townend, and board members Mike Adams and Don Ramsey. On July 1, Mayor Burns, Mayor Pro Tem McKeon, and Councilwoman Vandermark brought forward a councilmember item directing staff to evaluate the feasibility of co-locating the Surf Museum within the underutilized space at the Main Street Branch Library. Listed on the slide are the various areas council asked to include as part of the feasibility study. The Surf Museum has been located in a 2,033 square foot building on Olive Street since 1990. The building has 1 ADA and 3 dedicated on-site parking spots. With low ceilings and lack of wall space, they are unable to display their historical surfboard exhibit. Additionally, deferred maintenance, such as a leaking roof, have the potential to compromise exhibitions. Surf Museum's operational hours vary throughout the year, providing additional hours during the busy spring and summer season. This slide provides a visual representation of the proposed dedicated and shared space. Blue represents the Surf Museum, green the library, and yellow combined space. The blue square on the far left is currently vacant, and the blue rectangle on the upper right of the screen represents a desired Phase 2 activation of the space. For now, the second floor of Main Street Library is not accessible to the public due to ADA requirements and would remain storage for the library and Surf Museum items. Main Street Library is a 2-story, just under 9,500 square foot facility. On the first floor, the Surf Museum would have a dedicated footprint of just under 1,200 square feet. The currently vacant space would be occupied with the Surf Museum office, museum storage, and a combined display area and access to the PT collection research area. The PT collection would be a non-circulating collection comprised of over 100 years of publishing, print, photography, and video documentation encompassing the history of surfing in Polynesia. Additional spaces include a proposed 180 square foot art gallery and the use of 20-foot tall walls inside of the research section of the library to display the history of surfboards. Additionally, the library's dedicated first floor footprint would be just under 4,000 square feet. This includes the office, library storage, book stacks and research section, and the computer lab. Featured on this slide is a proposed portable exhibition kiosk that would be displaying the Surf Museum exhibition items. The library and surf museum would also share approximately 3,600 square feet of space, supporting the reception area, museum gift shop, and Friends of the Library bookstore, a staff kitchen and lounge and restrooms. As previously mentioned, the second floor would remain a storage space. Finally, the Blue Room would remain used as flexible space for library, surf museum, and community programs. The Surf Museum has been working directly with Visit HB to provide funding for the proposed improvements and relocation costs exhibited on this slide. There would be no use of city funds related to relocating and improvement costs. The following 2 slides provide photos of existing space at Main Street Library. These photos include proposed combined Friends of the Library bookstore and Surf Museum gift shop, in addition to the doorway between the combined space and entrance into the Surf Art Gallery and PT Collection Research Library. These photos are of the existing vacant space, which would house the PT Collection Research Library and Surf Museum office and storage. Benefits to the co-location of the Surf Museum and Main Street Library include new foot traffic for both organizations from visitors, opportunities for educational and event collaboration, donation of the PT collection as a non-circulating collection similar to the genealogy collection at Central Library, collaboration on events and education, an opportunity to begin establishing the 5th block of Main Street as a cultural hub with the combination of the Huntington Beach Art Center, Main Street Library, and Surf Museum, and no entitlements would be required since the Surf Museum would be integrated into existing library usage. Impacts of the co-location include exhibition, viewing, and patron library use may conflict based on desired noise levels and foot traffic for each use, adjustments to the operational hours in peak season to accommodate weekend visitation, limited parking around Triangle Park may be further impacted during increased visitation, and increased foot traffic may generate additional maintenance. And last but not least, Main Street Library is on the National Register of Historic Places, so any major proposed building enhancements would need to comply with historical regulations. The Surf Museum would be responsible for working directly with Visit HB for relocation and improvement funding. The Surf Museum and Main Street Library would be expected to independently fund their operations. However, collaboration on grants may be possible. Pending City Council discussion tonight, initial next steps could include the development of an MOU, which would be brought back at a later date for Council consideration. And if approved, the Surf Museum and City staff would begin working on timelines and logistics related to the relocation. And at this time, staff and Surf Museum board members are available for any questions.
Thank you. Any questions? Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to thank everyone who's put all this time, energy, and effort into looking into different options and to making this happen. I do believe this will drive traffic out to the art center, which we're struggling right now for the public to get out there, and I think this is important. So thank you all for doing this. I know we're still in the conceptual phase. We're looking into all of the options that we have, taking all feedback into consideration. And surfing is Huntington Beach. And the Huntington Beach Main Street Library is one of our more historical buildings here. And if we can make this work, I think it's a great opportunity to combine the two. So thank you for everything you guys are doing. I look forward to making this happen, and it's actually been really encouraging to see so many people here just trying to collaborate and share ideas and options, and even the people who have concerns. I mean, we appreciate that feedback. We'll take all of the feedback in and see what we can do to resolve some of those concerns.
Awesome. Don? Yeah.
Just like some observations?
Yeah, of course. It's a study session, so.
Okay, good. Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to point a couple things out. In real estate, location is everything. So when it comes to surfing, as Councilwoman Vandermark just said, there's no better location for a surf museum than Main Street in Huntington Beach. That's first. Secondly, for those who said, why combine or who combines a museum with a library, just a quick search showed me quite a few libraries that are combined with museums. The Library of Congress, for example, is a library and a museum. The British Library is a library and a museum. The Morgan Library and Museum in New York City. Even the Vatican Library / museum. So it's not a unique concept to combine a library with a museum. Aside from that, aside from a stellar location, the chance to combine two great uses, a library and a museum, the audience was chock full of young surfers that do read. And I've been to that library many times. As a matter of fact, I've been to that library. I share this story. My wife goes crazy. When I was 2 years old, we got a cat at that library in the front in 1963 from that library right there. As a matter of fact, in 7th grade and 8th grade, the Surf Museum was a doctor's office. So I've been in both those buildings. To combine the two is a very timely initiative. And somebody said, you know, why now? Well, this has been in the fact-finding, discussionary phase for years now. So as Google says, you have to start to iterate. You have to start a process in order to grow a process. A farmer plants a seed and then the crops grow. So we have to get something moving forward. We can have, you know, what they call analysis paralysis. But the bottom line is I am 100% excited to see that we can move this forward. I think it's a great combination of uses. I believe that they will be symbiotic with one another. And I believe that the library will benefit from new, excited youth and, you know, the older generation as well to come in and check the museum and check some books and vice versa. And I just believe locationally it's optimal and the timing is perfect. And I am excited to see it move forward. So with that said, thank you.
Questions, comments? Good.
Yeah, I would just like to highlight, I know this was in the presentation, it's been said a number of times, but we did get a lot of emails about it. So just to highlight the fact that no use of city funds are going to be involved in this move. So in essence, it's privately funded through Visit HB. All right, so that's just for the public benefit. And also, just for the benefit of the public, staff members at the city library are ready with open arms to welcome the ISP and looking forward to collaborating with them. Is that correct based off of your analysis?
Sure. So obviously with any new roommates, was what I'll call, there will be some growing pains, but I know that we're ready and willing to collaborate and work through those growing pains to make sure both organizations are successful and support each other.
Yeah. And then, good. And then to Councilman Kennedy's point, I mean, I looked it up, literally hundreds of these dual uses of library museum because they do serve the same purpose. It's all about public education, preservation, and community learning. So nothing unusual across the nation on this one.
Andrew?
Yep, I'm not necessarily going to opine here. I just want to bring up a bunch of questions because we got a lot of emails, so I want to make sure that I go through the list and get all of these answered so that then we can take that back to the drawing board. And Mr. Reinerson did bring up the facilities master plan and why it's kind of being done not in tandem. Can you maybe give some input on that? I thought that was a valid question.
Sure. So as part of the Library Facilities Master Plan, which is similar to the Parks and Recreation Master Plan we brought forth last month, it's intended to be a visioning document to help us plan for capital improvements into the future. So it almost was perfect timing with the council member item coming forward during our fact-finding phase for the Library Facilities Master Plan. Last week during a public presentation, which is available on the library's website, on the city's website, the presentation is there and available, and what the architect has called out, understanding that this conversation is occurring with the co-location, is the potential to rebuild in a space where there used to be a fire department on the corner of 6th and Acacia, kind of a setback building that either could, one, be an expansion of footprint for the Main Street Library, or two, a secondary space that is dedicated to the Surf Museum. So as part of this process, that concept for the co-location was contemplated.
And then Mr. Rini brought up the point about the hours. So would we expand the hours into Sunday? How would that work?
That could either be, it could be a number of different opportunities to evaluate. One, either a reduction of some hours in some other spaces depending on budget, or two, an expansion of overall hours during the summertime when we do have peak visitation.
And then would the existing library security system cover the Surf Museum as well?
Yes, the entire building is a single alarm system.
Got it. And then in terms of staffing, labor, impact, et cetera, in your opinion, how do you think that the shared spaces, such as the book room and the areas behind the circulation desk, how will that affect library operations with the two working together?
So 2 fiscal cycles ago, I believe, or it actually might have been this past fiscal year, we were awarded funds to redesign the reception area inside of the Main Street Library. So it is in need of some redesign and some upgrades. But what we do see is an opportunity for our frontline staff in partnership with the Surf Museum, should this move forward, to understand some just basic level customer service, to be able to get people who are coming through the doors to the right place and with the expert of the particular operation to help meet their needs.
And then obviously what both Councilmember Kennedy and Councilmember Williams brought up in regards to the co-location came from a comment that I think that our consultant who's overseeing the library's facilities master plan brought up, and he said that that libraries and museums were not compatible. I think that was in his the original public comment meeting, but then he did kind of indicate otherwise. Has he been consulted on this, and what's his general opinion? We don't ask you to speak for him, but I know that that has been brought up in the process, correct?
Sure, that has been brought up, and so it was a sentiment that was also issued earlier in the meeting. What his intention was after speaking with him is when you do have a space that prefers maybe a more quiet environment versus a space that's more activated with tours and chatting about the exhibitions, the two may not coalesce, but there are flexible spaces in the library that we may be able to activate, such as the Blue Room, in coordination if there are tours or other folks who are coming into the library. We may be able to activate different spaces to ensure both needs are met.
And then last question, I can't specifically retrieve the name of who sent us this, but they had brought up the condition of the unoccupied office space and how that kind of coalesces with the idea behind bringing the Surf Museum in. Can you talk about that? And then are there any other infrastructure needs in regards to the office and then bringing the Surf Museum into the library?
Sure. So right now, the unoccupied space does have a dedicated entrance outside of it. There's a dedicated entrance into the balance of Main Street Library and a separate dedicated entrance to the frontage of that space. So should the Surf Museum want to be open during different hours than what Main Street Library is open, they would be able to facilitate a different entry point. As far as infrastructure needs goes, that would be on the responsibility of the Surf Museum to make those assessments, pull all of the correct permits. If there's anything of historical nature, we'll definitely be consulting with the Community Development Department to make sure that we're going through all of the appropriate processes. And then they would need to work with Visit HB to provide any of that funding. I do know that there was also a mention of temperature control. We were, in last fiscal year, authorized for a capital improvement to bring air conditioning to the Main Street Library, so that's another infrastructure need that will be met.
Okay, and then final point that I want to make, because in the process of receiving emails in regards to this, some people did bring up initially, because I think there was a misunderstanding that the $75,000 was being paid out by the city itself. They said, if you have the money to spend on this, why not fix the 4th story ceiling, the roof, the leakage over there? So I know that these two aren't directly related, and we've already cleared that the $75,000 isn't coming from the city, but can you maybe speak for 10 or 15 seconds on fixing that 4th story leak?
Sure. So at Central Library, we did experience a leak during the heavy rains a couple of weeks ago. We had a roofing contractor come out last week. It's a localized issue with some of our chillers on the roof. The roof overall is in good condition. So this is something that should be a pretty speedy fix.
Great. Thank you so much.
Lastly, I'll just say important points were reiterated by Councilmember Williams, privately funded for relocation and staffing. Councilmember Kennedy brought up a great point, location of real estate. The current location is kind of tucked in off of Main. This will move the Surfing Museum to a prominent location. It makes a lot of sense if you go in the Main Street Library. They already have a really cool, amazing old historic photos of Huntington Beach. Now you fuse that with what makes us Huntington Beach, our surfing culture. There's space there, we've walked it, there's a lot of room to grow. Then I really activate that whole area. You're drawing people, as Chris Burns said, up Main Street onto the 4th block. There's opportunities now to cross-pollinate with the art exhibit, the art center. You can have events there, you can do some catering, you could walk across the street to the Surf Museum. You could probably activate Lake Park, have some tasteful live music, just really revitalize that whole area, bring people up. So I think it makes a lot of sense. I'm looking forward to the next steps. Thank you, Ashley. All right.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. The next item is an item brought forward by City Council for review, study and review by city staff. It's exploration of downlink technology for public safety operations. And I think we have Lieutenant Toby Archer here to provide the study session item.
Good evening, Council. Yes, I'm here to talk about downlink in our helicopter as directed from an H item back on June 3rd of 2025. So some people are asking, what is downlink? And downlink's the availability to stream a video directly from our helicopter. What our TFOs are seeing in the right seat of the helicopter, our mapping system and camera system, giving that ability to be able to be monitored from either a tablet, a phone, a command post, a real-time crime center, or any other TV screen. So it's beneficial for special events, protests, critical incidents, et cetera. It's incredibly helpful to be over the scene of large-scale protests, which, as we know, we've had a few of, but also our big special events, the U.S. Open of Surfing, the Air Show, and a number of other things. It's not only valuable for the police department, but it's also extremely valuable for our fire and marine safety departments as well, which we'll talk about and show some videos of here in a minute. And again, part of the direction was to report back on viability and expense with equipping this in our helicopter. So just a little bit of background. For those that don't know, we fly the MD 530F. We bought 3 of these and sold our old fleet, starting that back in 2021. They went through an extensive process in selecting this helicopter. It's a smaller airframe known as like the Little Bird in the military, which is great for us and what our mission is, generally using our helicopter for command and control operations. It's got a lower operating cost than many other airframes, such as an A-Star, which other law enforcement agencies use. It's almost half the cost per hour to operate, which is great for us. However, there is a little bit of a downside, is that it's such a small airframe, there's not much real estate inside the helicopter. So with that, it's harder to install certain components that go with this, whether that's the hardware for the mapping system, any of the wiring, and what we found one of the harder things to figure out that works the best is the antenna that makes all of this work. So we looked at a number of different technologies, RF technology or microwave technology, cellular, and Starlink. We went through some exhaustive testing and we kind of ruled out RF options. The RF or microwave option is what most media companies use. So I know if you see, ABC 7 covering a car chase or something, it's crystal clear video. That's incredibly expensive, not to mention that it requires some antennas and some other things that we just can't put on our aircraft. So that was kind of ruled out fairly on in the process. Then we started looking at some cellular options, and we had used some cellular options in the past, and they work really good at low altitude. However, oftentimes we're flying at a much higher altitude than 5G towers can reach. And so we found that usually after around 800, 1,000 feet, we start to lose some cell service with our helicopter. So we started looking at some antenna solutions and some security concerns about certain cell operations. We worked hand in hand with our IS department, and I can't tell you how great they've been on this project too. So prior to June 2025, before the H item was introduced, we had started discussing with some third-party vendors, namely one that was working with Starlink, and they claimed to be the only company that had Starlink available for aviation. They came out, tried to do some stuff in our helicopter, and we had some latency issues. The delay on the video was too big for us to like. So then we collaborated with IS to identify some other solutions. We facilitated some demonstrations. We flew out to some other agencies that are using different things. We had Tracker come out to give us a demonstration. We looked at Teradek. We used Peplink, Earthscape, which is another vendor that comes from our mapping system, and a few others. IS at the same time, John Danka started to look at some other solutions that they could do in-house, and we kind of did 2 parallel research methods from third-party vendors and from what we could fabricate ourselves. So by October, we had 2 major options, both of which worked with cellular and antenna configurations. And then we found someone that was willing and able to do a Starlink configuration in conjunction with our cellular options, and it aggregates the signal. So depending on the altitude, it will use the Starlink signal if we're out of cellular range, but if we're low enough to get good cellular coverage, it'll use the cellular option as well. So we sent one of our 3 helicopters down to a third-party outfitter that has done some of our installations in the past. It's important that we use a third-party outfitter because it has to get FAA certification afterwards. And then just this month, we've kind of determined that we found 2 options for a mounting solution to go with for our helicopter. So what will this give us? If you haven't seen, this is what our map looks like, and this is what our TFO, or Tactical Flight Officer, sees from the right side of the aircraft when flying. We will have the ability to stream this video directly down to any of the, oh, that didn't play. Can you play it for me? Thank you. To stream this video directly down to the command post, to dispatch, or a real-time crime center. You'll be able to see the map overlay, direction of travel of where the people are going, and whatever the TFO is doing in the side of the aircraft, it will zoom in and out. These are videos that we've used from our helicopter with the downlink that we are able to see in real time. We were able to get low latency, less than a second. This is a pursuit of an e-bike, switching back and forth with infrared camera and a regular camera. This was a rescue in the open ocean. Again, switching between infrared and whatnot was extremely valuable for our marine safety departments to see exactly where people are. The helicopter can be airborne, and they can see people with infrared cameras over 2 miles away while flying to respond to the scene. And lastly, this is a structure fire that occurred in the south end of the city. As you can see, the video shows the smoke, but then when switching to infrared, you can see where people are, where hotspots are, and this is incredibly valuable for our fire department. When this fire occurred, we had to use the helicopter as command and control and telling them, verbally where the fire and hotspots are. But with downlink technology, the fire department or battalion chief will have that at their fingertips, and they can literally see exactly what we're seeing in real time. So, we've talked about this. This will give us the ability to have, oh, I'm sorry, this thing's on. This will give us the ability to do this in all 3 aircraft. Obviously, there's going to be a cost associated with this. The first aircraft that we sent down, we had to move some mapping functions. The hardware for the map was mounted behind the seat. We had to move that forward. We recently bought new lights for our helicopter. Our old lights, the spotlights, would not slave to where the camera was looking. Now we've purchased 3 lights that will work in conjunction with the camera, which required some new wiring. And since we were opening up the ship to do this, we thought we should wire everything all at once, which would save us all a lot of money. We used some funding from our Stone Garden grant. They pay per hour, a flight hour, for a federal grant, and we leveraged $30,000 of that grant to do the upfitting on the first aircraft, and then we worked within our budget to finish the rest. Now the 2 remaining helicopters that have not been worked on have to be upfitted to include all of what you see there. But that will give us the ability to have Starlink in all 3 of our helicopters. Not only do we have Starlink, it will give us the ability to have Wi-Fi inside of the helicopter, which gives the pilot the ability to see what the TFO is seeing, because they can broadcast from the right seat to the left seat, so the pilot can put the aircraft in a better position so that the TFO can see it better without having to look over his shoulder. But in addition to that, it gives us Wi-Fi inside the aircraft, so when our computer-aided dispatch system gets upgraded, they'll be able to dispatch them calls, and the TFO can actually see the call in real time. And as it's being updated, if there's a photo of the suspect or if there's any other things, the TFO can communicate with officers on the ground because they'll have Wi-Fi in the aircraft. It will rewire all of our mapping systems, which gives us the real estate that we need on the back end to mount some of the hardware for the downlink. And then it would also include all the hardware mounting. So the total remaining cost is about $230,000 to complete all necessary work on the remaining 2 helicopters. So then we'd have 3 helicopters that would all be outfitted with Starlink, cellular capability, downlink technology, as well as Wi-Fi inside of the aircraft for a number of different things. So with that, are there any questions?
Any questions? Go for it. Yeah, study session.
Thank you, Lieutenant. No questions. I spent some time with you going over the presentation previously. You answered a lot of questions. More some observations. So the things that, in the business world, price and cost are normally about 5th on the priority of spending money. Really, number 1 and 2 is what do I get? What's the value? When I look at this technology, somebody said, well, can't we just put another officer on the beach? The multiple of result you can get with this kind of technology, you can't put a price on this. So all in, it looks like you're going to be at about 310, because I think you said you had about 80,000 into the first. You had some grant money. So let's say 310 for all 3 helicopters. So this kind of technology, fully outfitted for all 3 helicopters, you're at about 100,000 per helicopter. What we're going to get for that, somebody says, what am I going to get for that? That infrared you showed with the hotspot on that rooftop, what's the cost of one life if a fireman falls through that? I would imagine the fire department cannot wait for this type of bilateral communication, because if I'm a fireman standing on top of a hotspot and somebody can tell me, don't go there, that is something that is just, you can't put a price on it. The directional maps that you showed, the ability to keep our citizens safe with what I would call a minuscule investment in technology and safety is well worth the quote-unquote cost. And what I really like about this is not a rush to judgment. You guys have been working on a solution now for about 5 years. And over time, you found a more cost-effective one with better overlapping technologies for less money. So time has actually played out well. You've done your due diligence. You've researched many different options. And I think what you guys have come up with now, the PD, is a great solution at the right time, and the return on investment can't be measured. So I'm excited about this kind of technology. I think Huntington Beach needs this, and the fact that our helicopter gets utilized by other cities, I would imagine maybe our premium can go up, down next time we can negotiate contracts, because this kind of technology is cutting edge and it's amazing. So thank you for the presentation.
Just to Councilman Kennedy's point, there's countless applications, like he mentioned, the utility for the fire, or I think even police. God forbid you guys wind up in some type of direct assault action. I know just from being overseas and having that sort of God's eye view in real time and understanding how the threat might be trying to maneuver on your team. And without that perspective from the sky, I mean, it literally could cost somebody's life. And so many practical uses, and it's absolutely priceless. This will save lives.
Anyone else? Andrew.
Just one quick question on the specifics of the technology. So over time, as technology gets better, is that something where you can augment the existing technology with just like a small price increase, or do you have to replace it from what you've seen in your research, like altogether?
So I think the technology is only going to get better with some of this stuff. We came up with a system, and as far as I know, we will be the first agency using Starlink in a helicopter for this function. There are some fire services that are using it in planes and fixed wings, but we went through a number of different iterations of how to make the Starlink work, and to do it because some of the interference with the rotors and some other things were, we've worked through some things with digital signal processing, and again, I can't thank our IS guys enough for working through that. But the technology yes, to answer your question, yes, it should be wired to the point that if something better, newer and better comes out, we should be able to switch one with the others. We pre-wired it so that if something new comes out, it's going to be universal wiring, that we have the power and amongst other things to do that. We do think that there are some different things that have come out with priority for different cell cards, right? So we have the ability to do 2 different cellular services as well as the Starlink all through the router, where you can use a Verizon or T-Mobile or AT&T and T-Mobile SIM cards as well as a Starlink, and then it'll kind of aggregate or prioritize which one has the best service. So we think that will only get better. Starlink is only going to get better. I mean, for those that aren't familiar with it, right, they're constantly launching more and more satellites depending on where you're at in the world, and your ability for you to get a strong cell service or cell signal rather, or a strong satellite signal, it's all going to change, and that's only going to get better. There's only going to be more room. We operate in one of the most dense urban environments, so we have a lot of cell towers, and that's still going to be there, but the technology is only going to get better, and it shouldn't affect us. We should be able to upgrade if we need to.
So just one question. I believe there is an opportunity to have some cost recovery, because I know we contract out with our neighboring cities for our police helicopters. Now we're going to be delivering a much better product? Is there a way to charge a little, premium for now our services potentially?
I think there's definitely a potential for that. We have contracts through the middle of 2027 with Costa Mesa, Irvine, and Newport Beach. I think if we have some other contract, we're still going to fly for mutual aid for things that we have to for pursuits for other agencies. However, there's an opportunity to say that if we have a contract, we'll give them the access to the video amongst other things that would be more appealing for people to enter contracts with us. We may have some opportunities with some federal partners as well to do things, especially if we have the ability to do Starlink at higher altitudes that people don't have the ability to do with lower altitudes with cellular service. So there are definitely some opportunities out there. I'm not sure what all of those are at this point, but there's definitely some opportunities for that. It's only going to add value.
Right. Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, moving on to consent calendar. Do any council members want to pull any consent items? 23? Anybody else?
I'll make a motion to carry the rest of the calendar.
Second.
Yeah, Mayor and City Council, there were updates to item 18, 31, and 32, so would that motion include those updated items? So the committees and commissions, there was some updated information put on that, and then the 2 public works contracts had updated recommended actions.
Yeah.
So you confirm? Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so motion by Councilmember Burns, second by Councilwoman Vandermark to move items 16 through 22 and 24 through 33. Clerk, please call the roll.
And 31 and 32 approved as amended by supplemental communication.
Correct.
Councilman Gruhl?
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Mayor McKeon?
Yes.
Councilman Burns?
Aye.
Councilwoman Vandermark?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right, number 23, Don.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to pull this really for one reason. In meeting with our fire chief, McCoy, and talking about the grant and all the benefits, something really jumped out of the deck for me, and I wanted to shine some light on it. One of the things that this provides is pre-screening cancer tests. And as somebody who knows firsthand the negatives of cancer, not through me personally, through my wife, my dad, many of my family members, this is something that comes with this grant, and I can tell you that when it comes to cancer, early detection is key to saving lives. So when the chief talked about some of the different benefits of this grant, and when he touched on that, I was just so happy to hear that. And I told him that I wanted to shine light on this one small aspect. It's not small, it's huge. And I think he's already had some cases, if you will, where the pre-screen has already shown some early detection, which again is the difference between potentially prolonged life or not. So I'm super happy about that. That's the only reason I wanted to pull it, just to shine some light on that huge benefit. So thank you. With that, I'd like to make a motion to approve item 23.
Second. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Gruhl?
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Mayor McKeon?
Yes.
Councilman Burns?
Aye.
Councilwoman Vandermark?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
Item passes 6-0.
All right, next on the agenda is public comments for non-agendized items. City Clerk, do we have anyone signed up to speak?
We do. We have 11 speakers.
Okay.
The City Council will now receive public comments for non-agendized items only. When your name is called, please approach, use both podiums, state your name and organization for the record. Charles Jackson, Christine Browning, Denora Echeverra, Diane Carpenter, Brother Stephen Gerald Sidlovsky, Ken Inouye, Chris Reaney, Elaine Bauer-Keeley, Pat Goodman, and Libby.
3 minutes, please. Go ahead.
It's Christine Browning, born and raised in the city of. What happened to Butch? Where'd he go?
Butch is sick, so he was playing hurt today, and he did us a favor by showing up.
Pass
So
on my message to him.
sure.
Thanks. So, Christine Browning, born and raised in the city of Fullerton. I left Fullerton 13 years ago, but not before I successfully recalled 3 out of 5 of my city council members. And you know why? Because I got a big mouth. And when I talk, people listen. But the thing is, I was so proud of you guys. I was so proud to be part of Huntington Beach. You guys were so good. Dear God, the last city council meeting was ridiculous. You don't listen to your voters. You don't listen to all those people that came in support of Chad. And I want to say that I don't go to Chad's church. I go to Beach Cities. So I'm here to tell you that you guys looked ridiculous at the last city council meeting. You all bullied on him. That was just uncalled for. Your job is to listen to us. I have never been to a city council member meeting where the public comments are at the very end. I've been sitting here for 2 hours. You should want to hear what we have to say. You should listen to us. Our voters wanted Chad to be the pro tem mayor, but you know what? Because he pissed someone off, you guys just all bullied him. That was ridiculous. We are the voters. You're not getting my vote next time. And when Chad's the only one on the city council, what are you guys going to do about it? Because we all love him. We all want him to be a part of this. You're supposed to listen to us and not just sit there and argue. You guys looked ridiculous. You should watch a replay because it was uncalled for the way that you treated him. I don't understand. We live in this beautiful city. You are truly blessed to be sitting where you are. God put you there to take care of us. And you're not taking care of us. You're making us look like fools. And don't think that I'm the only one that thinks that, because there are a lot of us out there that think that. I can't believe you. I cannot believe you. I'm so disgusted by the way that you guys acted at the last city council meeting, and I hope that you guys were disgusted with yourselves too. It's wrong. You're truly blessed to be sitting where you are, and your job is to take care of us and to listen to us. And public comment should be first. There's going to be business that's going to happen in these meetings. Yes, this is a business meeting, but you know what? Your voters should be heard. And I don't know what you're thinking, Casey. Why would you put us at the back? Why? Because you want to get business done? This is a business meeting. That's what happens at these things. Listen to your voters first. I've been sitting here for 2 hours because I wanted to get up here and tell you guys how disgusted I am with you. And next time, you will not be getting my votes. And I'm telling you that because of the way that you acted the last city council meeting. And I haven't been attending these city council meetings, but you know what? You're going to be seeing me a lot more often.
Thank you. Go ahead, Ken.
Good evening. My name is Kenny Noway. At the last Huntington Beach City Council meeting, Chad Williams was not selected to become the next mayor pro tem, in spite of published city policies which provided that Chad should have been selected to be the next mayor pro tem. During this meeting, it was suggested that Chad Williams would have an opportunity to become the next mayor pro tem if he showed contrition to his fellow city council members. As a resident of Huntington Beach, I asked myself, should Councilman Williams be remorseful for the fact that on numerous occasions he asked his fellow city council members to determine the facts or cost of a city council action before they took action? We all remember how he asked his colleagues to defer a vote on the long-term airshow contract, since at the time of the vote, the city council did not know the cost of the airshow contract. Further, should Councilman Williams be remorseful for the fact that on more than one occasion he asked his colleagues to consider the public comments that were made by the people attending the meeting before they made policy decisions that affected every resident of the city? At this time, I would ask everybody in this room and also everybody that watches this telecast to make their own determination as to whether Councilman Williams should be remorseful for asking these principled questions. As you all begin the new year, it is clear that we face unprecedented challenges fiscally in regard to public safety, which must and should be addressed by a city council which is dedicated to facing these challenges in a manner which unites all of us and concentrates on those issues that are relevant to the well-being of all the citizens of Huntington Beach. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ken. Next speaker, please.
Good evening, City Council. I'm delighted to have 3 minutes, and I'm delighted it's not midnight. The Friends of the Library is a 50-year-old nonpartisan organization dedicated to supporting the library's collection. They fundraise through a gift shop and used book sales, ensuring that the funds go directly to the library collection of the city of Huntington Beach, rather than staff or rather than infrastructure. Bequests and donations are managed responsibly by the board, and we protect our nonprofit status, and we follow that we only give to the collection. And bequests are also used to supplement our annual donation. So everything we raise goes to the city's collection, and some of the supplemental money that we get from bequests goes to the city's collection. The Friends does have the right to engage in community measures, which was upheld by a court of law. Additionally, we do support that the expertise of our librarians, under the direction of Ashley Wysocki and Marissa Rodriguez, they know how to purchase books, and they can purchase any books they want. We just want to give $825,000 to the city to buy books. $250,000 this year, and going up by 10% each following year. All the Friends of the Library are insured by both the Friends of the Library and the paperwork they fill out with the city volunteer coordinator. Just like all the other organizations that work in the library, lifting books, moving things, doing whatever they do. So over 54 years, the Friends of the Library has contributed millions of hours and millions of dollars, and we've kept up with current status of insurance and everything else to be good volunteers and good stewards of the public library's collection. We have a legacy that we've built of volunteerism and community support, and a history which is something people should really appreciate and try to preserve. Ultimately, the Friends of the Library's mission is to elevate and support the entire community by maintaining a robust collection of information and knowledge, ensuring that every library continues to thrive. By accepting the $825,000, we only ask that we remain in the library to make the money we're trying to give you. That's it. And let your staff buy the books. That's it. That's all we've asked for. And we've heard other things about you can't do this or you can't do that, or you need insurance. We have insurance. You should know that. And every one of our volunteers goes through your volunteer coordinator. Now, that was my speech last week that I had 30 seconds for. Personally, I come from a family, well, that'll be next time.
Thank you.
They gave 60 years, I have 30 years to give.
Next speaker, please.
The Library of Congress is not a public library. The museum part is open to the public. The library part is not. You must be a member of Congress to get in without an escort. Otherwise, your Congress member must bring you into the quiet area. So I just want to make sure you know that, Mr. Kennedy. It's not something like, they're in the same building, but it is not, but nobody goes looking at the museum part in the quiet study part of the library. That is locked, and only a member of Congress can go in there on their own. And I'm really disappointed that Butch left before the end of the meeting, because I stayed to make a comment for
Butch
him.
is sick, so the firemen took him out and the paramedics, so thank you. Butch is playing.
Paramedics took him out.
Butch
I'm
is
sorry to hear that. I
Yep.
hope he will hear my comments at a later time.
Okay, thank you.
Because I saw his social media post that claiming our voices are just shrill and petulant and tear at the social fabric of the city and country. And I do hope he is well, truthfully. But I'm here to remind him that I and my friends and my family are a vital part of the social fabric of our community, as well as our wonderful country. I do not scream in these chambers, but I would shout my love of country from the rooftops if necessary. I believe wholeheartedly in our Constitution and its Bill of Rights, and I exercise my freedom of speech often without screaming, and I use it to stand up for those less fortunate than I. I love that our country is a melting pot of people from every corner of the globe, and our cultures and skin tones blend together over time. That is not a weakness, but a strength. In the spirit of the season, I wish everyone love and light on this third night of Hanukkah, a celebration of the Maccabees' victory of religious freedom, a very American ideal. I further wish everyone a joyous holiday season, whether you're celebrating Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Bodai Day, Yule, Zartusht, No Diso, Three Kings Day, Lori, Festivus, all of the above or none of the above. In this country, all should be celebrated. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello, Chris Rini again. So throughout the last year, council members stressed the need for financial responsibility and to run Huntington Beach like a business. And this is great for sound bites, but where's the execution? Last month, the Friends of the Huntington Beach Public Library offered an $825,000 grant over 3 years. That is money on the table. It's an amazing windfall, a fantastic opportunity, and it showcases the private-public partnerships that a healthy balance would want to cultivate. It would also help with our budget shortfall. Likewise, the business wants to cultivate good relationships with its customers and not call them as old women who knit. Not only women knit, by the way, and we're not all old. Now, does running Huntington like a business mean transparency, accountability, and looking at ROI? Does it mean fighting culture wars instead of addressing real-world problems like flooding and the recent fatal crashes on our streets? Or does it mean running the place like you think you own it? Lastly, I have to address this. The examples of the Morgan, the British Library, Vatican, and Library of Congress are not apples to apples. The Morgan and the Vatican are both private fine arts collections that became libraries and museums over many years. The British Library is a spin-off of the British Museum that becomes its own thing. The Library of Congress is technically private. Most cases where libraries are museums, the hierarchy is reversed. The library is the parent organization, and the museum, often a local history society, is subordinate to the library. The library owns full control and ownership of everything. We have not discussed ownership of materials. We have not discussed special collections management for the PT collection. The report didn't even say how many linear feet it had. Now, I work for a transportation library and was able to get a national grant from them. And the grant readers wanted to know details of the collection, how many feet, what it was comprised of, and what its needs were. That's just regular business. If we do a partnership between the Surf Museum and HB City Library, we need to find out who gets the materials if the museum closes. And also, just if librarians are going to be working in the museum, do they get double wages for working 2 jobs? Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good evening once again, Tim Geddes here. Before I begin my remarks, I would like to give, and this being the last meeting of the year, I would like to give a shout out to our world-class Huntington Beach Fire Department. Earlier the beginning of this year, my wife of over 40 years, a cancer patient, had a bad fall in our house, and they responded. Full personnel, full equipment, everything, and that helped, and that really helped her. They offered to take her to the hospital. That wasn't needed. She did pass away from her condition in March, but I just wanted to make sure that since we've been talking about the fire department, since we've been talking about things, that that is recognized because it happened this year. First of all, I would like to thank Mayor McKeon for restoring civility and stability to the public comments process. This is a welcome change from the arbitrary and capricious policy we had to put up with in the past. I do agree with Councilman, with Chad, that we should have community speakers. We should at the beginning of the meeting, they shouldn't have to wait 2 hours to be able to to speak on their topics. So maybe that can be fine-tuned in the coming months. However, speakers still remain totally at the mercy of the mayor. He gave us 3 minutes today. I appreciate that in the preparation of remarks because there's no foreknowledge of expectations. You have eliminated the 3 minutes norm from the agenda and left us without guidance to as far as restriction by volume of speakers or other benchmarks. Mayor Strickland started out with 3 minutes and then progressed, downward, as far as time goes. So I just want to know if this is the new standard for transparency and fairness. Anyway, inquiring minds want to know. Anyway, thanks again to the Huntington Beach the Fire Department. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
With the Christmas season coming, I want to remind people about some history. Did you know that there was an attack on Christmas? Not the fake stories about Starbucks and so on, but a real attack on Christmas. This happened when Cromwell and his religious zealots took over England. Cromwell and his Puritans attacked Christmas and banned celebrations from 1644 to 1660. His corrupt English government enforced the ban, closing shops and punishing celebrants. Our founding fathers knew about this. They knew this history and understood the importance of separating church and state.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Brother Stephen Gerard Sidlowski, beloved mayor, council, citizens of Huntington Beach, I am delighted to be here to talk about a new possibility, but I would first like to open up with the Holy Bible. Isaiah 44:24. Thus says the Lord your Redeemer, he who formed you from the womb. I am the Lord who makes all things, who stretches out the heavens all alone, who spreads abroad the earth by myself. And equivalently, Ecclesiastes 3, to everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven, a time to be born. In the USA and in California now, there's a time to be born. A new possibility. That new pro-life possibility is called USA Personhood Cities. I'll be coordinating with your wonderful clerk, where you're going to get a correspondence letter with contents of at least 8, 9, 10 contextual pages of information on new USA Personhood Cities. You're going to be delivered a lot of love too, so I hope you're going to take it to heart. Your Sergeant at Arms is delivering you Bible bookmarks. I don't know if you've received them already. Those Bible bookmarks are very important for you because you can put them right in your prayer books, your favorite books, your Holy Bible possibly, and you can contact me at your convenience. What I am delivering to you in Content 1 is a resolution in support of a Huntington Beach, California declaration of a safe, preborn personhood city. I hope that in your mind and in your heart that you'll actually bring that and place it on your agenda, possibly by next Valentine's Day or Mother's Day, okay? You're also going to be delivered other very important information, and the goal, of course, is to get the citizens to vote in a new preamble covenant personhood language right into your charter. You're about one of over 100 cities in the state of California that has a city charter. While I'm here in California, and I know California from my former naval days, I served aboard the USS Enterprise on the in Naval Air Station Alameda. I know you've got 21 Franciscan missions. I hope to identify the top 10 cities that will declare personhood. I hope you'll be one of those top 10 cities. Thank you for your listening ear. God bless you this upcoming holiday season. Peace and all good to all of you.
Stephen, would you please fill out a blue card with the Sergeant at Arms to get in contact with you?
Pardon?
Could you fill it's called a blue card with the Sergeant at Arms. We'll get in contact with you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you kindly.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Yes, it's on.
Good evening to everyone.
everyone knows who I am. I like to put all you guys at ease because I love all you guys. I let him go before me because he had the Bible. My mom and dad, they both were pastor Pentecostal, and we went to church 7 days a week. My father was an architect. So I was here at the last meeting, and I think you guys did a great job. I love the city of Huntington Beach, which I'm looking forward to move sooner than later on coastland. I was the one that when the meeting was over, I went and reached out to Shad to put him at ease. That's what I like to do, to put a smile on people's face, and I think he has a better, great smile today. He remembers. I say, Shad, the city manager is doing a great job. The city mayor as well, and the new one is going to be doing a great job. Not that they don't want you to be the pro tem, you need a little bit more experience, you'll be okay. Remember I told you that, and your parents? That's what I enjoy doing, putting people at ease. I think that all your experience and knowledge getting through all these amazing people sitting next to you, you'll be wonderful when your time comes. I was one of the ladies, the Grace, when she was running to be a mayor in 2021, we met outside. When she realized I was from Cuba, brought by the US federal government, and I showed her history, she said, please, I need your Cuban support. And now I'm telling her, I need your support for coastland subsidy. 2 bedrooms that I put in application before anyone knew that the property was going to be built, because I spoke to Jan, the developer, on the other property on Tabor across Newland, the new home, and he told me he was going to build one. We spoke for 15, 20 minutes, if not 30, and he told me exactly how he was going to be build the property. I told him I'm native from Cuba, worked 40 years and paid taxes. I am a decent, believe me when I tell you, say newborn, decent citizen. And I had the right subsidy with the city manager, that he knows how to do it, his government. I know you guys are government, we love you guys, but I should not be homeless if you're never drunk or smoke or done drugs. What happened, the system is broken and illegal aliens are taking over housing and my tax credit that I worked 40 plus years. God bless all you guys. I love what you guys are doing for this great city. I feel safe in the city, and I will repeat, those law enforcement for Huntington Beach, they need to get more money, including the firefighters. God bless you and happy holiday.
Thank you, Denora.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. The next regularly scheduled meeting of the Huntington Beach City Council Public Finances Authority is Tuesday, January 6, 2026, in the Civic Center Council Chambers, 2000 Main Street, Huntington Beach, California. I just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.